In India, petrol and diesel prices had been on the rise for the past 20 plus consecutive days. In 2012, when the international crude oil price was $118 per barrel, petrol price in India was 70 rupees per litre. In 2020, when the oil price plunged to $20, still it remained at 70 rupees per litre. Today's video will reveal the secret behind this magic. Let's look into the 4 factors that affect fuel pricing in India. First, the global crude oil price. 84% of petroleum consumed in India is imported. And since 2002, fuel pricing in India is deregulated. That means the retail price of petrol and diesel varies according to the international market price. The second factor is rupee to dollar exchange rate. We buy oil from international market paying US dollars. The weaker Indian rupee gets against US dollar, we have to pay more. So even if crude oil price remains constant, if forex value of rupee falls, we end up paying more. The third factor is tax. And the fourth factor is also tax. Why 2 tax? First one is the excise duty levied by central government. Next is the sales tax by state governments in the form of value added tax or VAT. Let's quickly analyze the actual cost of petrol and diesel. India imports oil in its natural form, that is crude oil. 1 litre contains 159 litres, which currently costs $40. So 1 litre crude oil costs 19 rupees. Now there is also cost incurred in refining this crude to usable products like petrol and diesel along with many other products. This long journey of refining, storage, transportation to local retailers will increase the fuel price from 19 rupees to 30 rupees. The next journey from 30 rupees to 80 rupees is a simple factor of tax. Out of the 80 rupees you pay for a litre of petrol, 50 rupees is tax, that is 2/3 of the retail price is government tax, that is nearly 70%. This increased tax had been a gradual process. In 2012-2013, when crude oil price was $118 per barrel, Indian petrol price was at 70 rupees. In 2020, when the crude oil price plunged to $20, still the price remained at 70 rupees. In 2014, the central excise duty was 9.5 rupees on petrol and 3.5 rupees for diesel. Over the past 6 years, this has increased to 33 rupees, that is an increase of more than 3 times for petrol and 10 times for diesel. On top of this, state tax come around 17 rupees. State tax varies according to each state. Let's look at the recent fuel pricing trends. You might already know that because of coronavirus, there had been a decrease in demand for fuel and the crude oil price had come down. At the same time, on March 14, 2020, central excise duty on petrol and diesel was hiked by 3 rupees per litre. And less than 2 months later, on May 5th, a record hike of 10 rupees per litre on petrol and 13 on diesel was applied. So when international price went down to $20, this benefit was not passed to the public. Instead, tax was increased and fuel price was kept the same. But when the global oil price started rising back, government did not decrease the tax and fuel price is going up on a daily basis. With all economies opening up, the oil price will further increase. The bottom line is tax once increased is never reducing. Now let's check to what extent this increased tax can help our government. 1 rupee increase in excise duty brings about 14,000 crore rupees of additional income in a year. The recent hike is estimated to bring 1.6 to 2 lakh crore additional revenue to the government. Government collecting more revenue as tax is not a bad thing for the country. Fiscal deficit can be reduced and the additional revenue can be used for developmental purposes. But the concern is that if the government resort to such heavy taxation rather than developing effective plans to boost the economy, in the long run, citizens will be burdened and government will remain helpless. What is your take on this increased taxation? Does the increased revenue for government outweigh the tax burden on citizens? Or it's time for the government to strike a balance between the two? We are waiting for your valuable comments and opinions. See you soon with yet another video.